Good morning. Always good to start off with a little energy. I appreciate that. Welcome to the University of Toledo. My name is Brian Blair. I'm our Vice President and Director of Athletics here at the university. I'm so excited to be with you today, but I'm probably even more excited about what's happening on July 1st. For this to be the first time that Italian Football League Championship is played outside of Italy, and to be able to host that here in the city of Toledo on our campus here at the University of Toledo is a tremendous honor. We're so excited about the possibilities that come from this. I think since I've been here, I've talked a lot about this concept, Team Toledo, this athletic department, this university, this city, working together unlike ever before. That's how we make big dreams possible. Hosting this Italian Bowl is a big dream. This is an incredible opportunity for cultural aspects, for not only a football game, but a full weekend of fun activity. So we're so excited to get going, and I know you want to hear from the rest of our guests. And so one of the things I like to do is set myself up around people that are smarter, better, sharper dressed than me, but certainly visionaries. So this next man I'm going to introduce is certainly all four of those things and more. So with that, I'll introduce Nick Hyde.
Thank you, Brian. It's truly an honor for me to be here and be a part of this event. I lived in Italy for a long time, played American football there, and had the wonderful experience of living this football league, American Football League, and being a part of that. So it's kind of a treasure to be here, be in this community in Toledo where my family and I, we moved 4 years ago. I began working in this community at the end of 2006, beginning of 2007. And it's just been a wonderful, welcoming community. So it's an honor to be here for both the Italian Bowl and just what it means to have this 42nd Italian Bowl. The first one is, as Brian said, the first one that's going to be played outside of Italy, to be played in the state of Ohio, where the sport was born. And so much history between Italy and Ohio are here, in this state. So it's an honor to be here. I'm really excited to talk about the main purpose of our press conference today, to announce the official sponsor for the Italian Bowl, and it really has a special tie to the Italian Football League and to a lot of the history. I think many of you know that John Grisham, one of the most famous American authors, wrote a book called Playing for Pizza about the Italian Football League and about the Italian Bowl. And so the book was called Playing for Pizza because obviously this league was started with teams in 1980 where players worked day jobs to practice and play at night for passion, much the way our National Football League began way back when with players like Johnny Unitas and so forth. So if you have not read Playing for Pizza, I recommend it. But today I get the special privilege to announce the official sponsor, Marco's Pizza, who will become the official pizza of the Italian Bowl. Many of you know Pasquale Gianmarco, Pat Gianmarco, and Marco's Pizza in this community, what it's meant and what Pat means to this community. So I'm very excited to be here to introduce Pat and announce him as the official pizza of the 42nd Italian Bowl in Toledo. Pat.
Good morning, everybody. Nick, thank you very much for the kind words and this wonderful event. It's an honor for me to be a part of this thing. Being an Italian American, coming here from Italy a long time ago, and starting Marco's Pizza in 1978. We're not just about trying to put out a great product. I love the idea of trying to unite the communities and do better things for the communities we serve. And being a connection between Toledo, Ohio, and Ferrara, Italy, try to join the two cities together and do all these wonderful things together, I think it's wonderful. And it's an honor for us to be a part of this. And I guess that's it. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Pat. As we know, we have many wonderful sponsors. A lot of the folks that have come on and become partners and sponsors for this event are in the room, and want to say thank you to those folks. One of the biggest partners and sponsors that we have is BCSN at Buckeye. And many of you know that BCSN has stepped up and really taken a passion for this project. It truly is a passion project for many of the folks involved. And last year they began broadcasting a game of the week each week from Italy, and we had it on Monday night And so it was really an exciting beginning of things. And so in the next week, a group from BCSN is going to be going out to Italy to broadcast the opening game of the season, the Florence Guelfi against the 𝗻𝗺𝗃𝗍 Scorpions. The Florence Guelfi are the defending champions, and the 𝗻𝗺𝗃𝗍 Scorpions are what they call the team from the second division that won the second division that qualifies to go up to the first division, because in American football, just like soccer, overseas you have relegation. With all that being said, one of the biggest partners and sponsors to this event is Buckeye, Block Communications, BCSN, and here is Jeff Shook as well. Jeff jumped on board very early, had a great vision to kind of tie in back to what athletic director Blair said about having vision and having a dream for what this event could be. And Jeff and the folks at Buckeye jumped on board and said, hey, there are a number of things we can be doing. This is a lot of fun. This league it has so much to offer. Let's jump in, let's broadcast games, and let's tell this story about American football in Italy. So with that being said, I'd like to introduce Jeff Shook to say a few words on behalf of Buckeye and Block.
Good morning. I'm very excited to be here and to represent Block Communications and Buckeye and BCSN in this endeavor. I'd like to echo what Brian and Nick mentioned. My appreciation for the University of Toledo and the partnership that we've created for this event. I mean, quite frankly, I don't think it would have nearly the impact if we did not have their partnership and involvement with this. And I also want to thank you for hosting this the press conference today, Brian. Thank you very much. The Italian Bowl offers our community a chance to showcase our community pride, community support, and our community's commitment to events and opportunities that elevate Toledo across the globe. So yes, to Nick's point, the Italian Bowl and the relationship that we have with BCSN and Buckeye is important because it allows us an opportunity to spread that message and to showcase that event. But it also affords us an opportunity to showcase our community, an opportunity to elevate our community through another international sporting event, to show folks across the globe that we are a 21st century city. We can't do that without good support, though. This is no small endeavor. I also want to echo my appreciation to Pat and Marcos, not just for being a presenting partner here, but I think for setting the pace for other businesses across our community. We need that community support. If other businesses would like to join our efforts, certainly we welcome that opportunity. We're in the market every day asking and sharing our story and our vision to what this event is going to be. And I welcome the opportunity to talk with other business leaders across the community to share what I think is in it for them in order to participate. Again, it helps elevate our community. And because fundamentally we want people to attend, I got to tell you, tickets are available now on our website, and I would encourage you and members of our community and businesses to log on and buy their tickets. It's a July 1st event. I believe it's very economical for our families and our community and across our community to participate in. So again, thank you, Pat. Thank you very much. And with that, I will hand this back off to you, Nick. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Jeff. The last speaker we have before some final comments is certainly not the least speaker and one of the most important people that put this event together. I'm going to be introducing Mayor 𝗻𝗺𝗃𝗍 𝗡𝗶𝗵𝗵𝗁, and want to say thank you to the mayor for everything that he's done from the beginning. And he's going to say a phrase that I have taken from him related to this, and that many people have repeated to me, since this first began. And it's The 42nd Italian Bowl outside of Italy in Toledo. Why Toledo? And the mayor every time, well, why not Toledo? Why shouldn't it be here? Why wouldn't we bring this event here? And his enthusiasm, his commitment, we had a very, very fast-paced trip to Italy when we finalized our sister city agreement between the city of Ferrara and the city of Toledo. And the next morning, after all that was finished, we had to wake up very early, 2 or 3 hours of sleep, and drive all the way to Rome to have meetings at the Olympic Training Center in Rome to finalize this deal. And, the mayor's commitment to it and his enthusiasm was just contagious and was really well received by all the folks in Italy that were a part of the decision-making process. So I'm going to introduce Mayor 𝗦𝗽će 𝗶𝗶𝗵𝘁, say thank you, and let him say a few words about the event as well.
Well, good morning. Nick talked in his opening remarks about the book Playing for Pizza. What he didn't say is that if you read that book, pay close attention to the protagonist because it is loosely based on Nick himself, actually. Not so directly related that he earned any royalties from it, but just close enough for Nick to know that, hey, that's me, that John Grisham is describing in his book. The city of Toledo formed a partnership with Ferrara, Italy, in late 2021. The city of Toledo formed the first sister city relationship of any city in the world in 1931. And while many cities now have these, some communities call them twinning relationships, others call them, as we do, sister cities, only one city could go first. And I think it reflects well on the character of our community that we were first, especially at that time of what was happening in the world in 1931, to be able to be looking across the oceans for partnerships and common bonds, I think is something special in the DNA of Toledo. If all that sister city relationships did was exist on paper, they wouldn't be quite literally worth the paper they're written on. But when they're working at their best, they can promote cultural relationships, academic, economic. And so when we were in Italy in November of 2021, things came together quickly, and we were able to make a pitch to the Italian football league or federation to bring their championship to the United States. And that's what was important to them. As they tell the story, there was a Super Bowl in the 1980s, and I'm going to, in real time, try to reverse engineer which one it must have been. It must have been Super Bowl 19, Super Bowl 19, because that was the one that featured quarterbacks with Italian surnames, Marino versus Montana. And unless someone corrects me here, I'm pretty sure that was Super Bowl 19. Dolphins 49ers. That was a big deal in Italy, and it sort of sparked an interest in this unusual American sport. This big world event, and these, a Marino and a Montana were, leading their teams. And so what began was, sort of, I think it probably started as maybe a little bit of an underground sport in the country, but it became more and more popular. And 42 years later, they're still competing and hosting their championships. They want to take their championship on the world stage, and to be able to bring their championship to the United States, the birthplace of football and sort of the media capital of the sport, is a big deal for them. It helps elevate their sport in a athletic environment that is dominated by soccer. They would say football, we would say soccer. So to elevate their sport in this way helps them, and helps give them visibility, excites their players and teams, and it excites Toledo as well, because while they wanted their championship to be in the United States, we wanted it to be in Toledo. And as Nick said, some people ask, why Toledo? Well, why not Toledo? I think, and we that morning made an argument that the history of football was born in this part of America, and in some ways returning to the roots of the game was intriguing to them. Football was essentially invented in the Mahoning Valley, 120 years ago. It was a recreation for coal miners, frankly. That's why so many of the icons of the sport are from Western Pennsylvania, Eastern Ohio. It's why the Hall of Fame is in Canton. While we now think of professional football as being played in cities like Los Angeles and New York and Chicago, when the sport was born, it was in places like Portsmouth, Ohio, and Decatur, Illinois, Canton, Ohio, Green Bay, Wisconsin. Green Bay, Wisconsin remains. That is a vestige of what the sport used to be before the Portsmouth Spartans became the Detroit Lions, the Decatur Staleys became the Chicago Bears, et cetera, et cetera. So coming to this part of America returns them to truly the birthplace of the sport, its roots. We told them that the forward pass was invented about 50 miles to the east of here at Cedar Point. In fact, there is an Ohio historical marker on the beach at Cedar Point where 𝗦𝗽cie, not vacationing, but acting as a lifeguard that summer, as many Notre Dame students did at the time, started tossing the football around, and before too long said, "Hey, I think I invented something." So in a very real way, bringing this championship to this part of America links these people, who by and large play this for the love of the game, indeed for pizza, to the very birthplace of the sport. I suppose it would be like a golf championship taking place in Scotland, or something along those lines. Toledo, having had a great experience with the Solheim Cup, felt that this could be something that would create a little more international buzz. The fact of the matter is, successful cities compete for and host fun activities. I don't think anyone expects us to be welcomed by the tens of thousands of European guests that we had for the Solheim Cup, but I think thousands would not be an exaggeration. And the economic energy that they will bring will make for a delightful few days at the end of June, early July. So it's several days at the end of June leading to the game on Saturday, July 1st. In the run-up to the game, there will be, economic forums, I shouldn't pluralize, at least one, where some of the common business interests between the two nations will be discussed. You can think certainly automotive, but also there's other links between our economies. We're going to have an event at the Peristyle with a renowned Italian opera singer. There'll be events at the museum. I regret to inform you that there is going to be something called the Mayor's Cup, which will be a punt, pass, and kick contest held among elected officials in Northwest Ohio to help stoke interest in the event. And it just strikes me that that will give me an opportunity to discover that there's yet something else I'm not good at. But it'll be fun. The teams and officials are going to take a trip to Canton to visit the Hall of Fame. And all of this builds toward the game on Saturday. And that night after the game, the city of Toledo is going to be having its 4th of July fireworks. When you think of the 4th of July being on a Tuesday this year, which is sort of an awkward day to have it in any case, the official day off, banks closed and offices closed would be on a Tuesday. So, we logistically, backed it out and said, well, when would we have the fireworks? Do you really have it, on a day where people have to go to work? Then, as it turns out, the only day that really made sense was either that Saturday, July 1st, unless you wanted to maybe do it on the 3rd, which was counterintuitive. This is a long way of saying that we're going to have the official fireworks for the city on Saturday, July 1st, which will allow these 4 or 5 days of activities to sort of end with a celebration of, of Americanism and the big 4th of July party downtown, which I suspect will be it'll be fun for all of us, but interesting to the participants. Every team in this league is primarily made up of Italian, young and not so young players. Each team is allowed to have 2 Americans on it, so you will see an occasional college star that you might remember, or maybe someone who played in the NFL who's trying to come back from an injury or whatever the case may be. So there is a little bit of American flair in each team, but fundamentally these are folks from Italy who play the sport because they love it and are really excited about coming to the birthplace of the sport to have a party and have some fun. So that was probably more long-winded than I was supposed to do, but it's an indication of how excited we are here in the city to host this event, continue to build bridges, and just have some good old-fashioned fun. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and just a couple closing remarks again to hit on the event schedule. We're really excited. It's really an Italian Bowl week. It starts with the Mayor's Cup that Sunday before. Miriam Battistelli, the world-renowned sopranos concert during the week. She'll be singing both the American national anthem and the Italian national anthem before the game. And then after the game, we have, I'm sure everybody knows or has heard of the Toledo Night Market. That will be taking place. Actually, some of the setup will be with food trucks before the game, and it's part of the tailgating. And then the Toledo Night Market will be it's called the Lowlands, right outside the stadium, the Flatlands, Flatlands. And if you're not familiar with the Toledo Night Market, it has an international flair to it. It fits really well with the theme of this event. And it was one of the things that I really enjoyed when I moved to Toledo, is finding the Toledo Night Market. It reminded me of an Italian, what's called a mercatino, which is a vendor market. And so we're very excited to have that starting after the game. Game starts at 2:30 on July 1st, and the night market will be after that outside in the Flatlands. And so just really excited. The website is www.italianbowlusa.com. And to echo Jeff's remarks, we'd love to pack this stadium and really provide an international welcome to the 2 finalist teams. So I'm going to personally say my money in the Mayor's Cup is on our mayor. He doesn't know this, but we're starting a training regimen here in the next week or 2. So I'm really looking forward to that, and I think we're going to win. So thank you again. I also want to say thank you just wholeheartedly to the University of Toledo and Athletic Director Blair. I mean, to have this event in Toledo where there's so much history, I can't think of a better place. I mean, the stadium, so many people don't know how beautiful this campus is here. In fact, when we had our first, twice now, groups of Italians visiting, prepping for this, they said, we didn't know about this campus. We didn't know how beautiful it is, and the stadium is gorgeous. And so it's really a wonderful opportunity to showcase the campus, Northwest Ohio, and Ohio itself with this football game. So very excited. Thank you to everybody who made it out, and the game will be here before we know it. So very excited. Thanks, everybody.
Okay. I'll still see that back there. So if you want to go here and like Mayor, Kat, Brian.
Oh, yeah, so they can see.
Yeah, go closer even. Next one. Yep, there you go. Brian, act like you like each other. Get in there for a picture.
We want to do that.
I went into those new t-shirts.